Yeah. Let me take this with me. I'll
Okay.
remind me mostly. I'll just go
Okay.
talk. It's 5 o'clock time for the meeting. Notice for excuse me. No quorum, so meeting not be canceled.
Okay.
And with that said, was doing good if you and I went over the budget.
I would like to, yes, absolutely.
When does the board need to sign off on the budget?
Well,
And Kim can't consider it unless it's been adopted by the board, right?
that's right. So tonight, generally, first of all, it has to go to the county council for a non-binding review. The latest is September the 2nd. Okay? And then they do a non-binding review. I publish it in the paper 2 times. It has to be 7 days before the public hearing. The public hearing is held in September. Then you have your budget adoption in October. Last year it ran to the deadline. I barely made it in, and then once it's submitted, then it goes. So here's the thing. Her recommendation, and I think we should follow her recommendation, could go in high, advertise high, and then the numbers, the banks will be reconciled by the end of this week. Then those numbers, that can be presented to you guys, and then in your public meeting in September, you guys can discuss it, and in your budget adoption meeting, you can discuss it again and then make changes, or hold another meeting, however you would like to.
So we're not at the end of the process now.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No,
Well,
you have 2 more months, but the timing is critical when I get things put in. As you can see, this is the budget for me, all of this whole table.
Well, I'm not sure it'd be productive for it. We need more than one member to go through the budget, for God's sake. This involves a lot of things, such as budgeting for pay raises, budgeting for a lot of things that I can't make. I couldn't make decisions.
Yeah, that's all that I'm lacking right now is your pay. Pay raises. What are you wanting to do?
See, I don't know that.
Yeah. And honestly, the general fund is max.
I have mentioned this a time or 2, and there just don't seem to be much interest in the budget.
And John, they're so desperately needs to be.
I don't know how you can make any decisions without knowing what's in the budget. Who's spending what and what's going for what.
It was very hard for me because not having balances.
Well, my concern was she's coming tomorrow, and that might be some kind of final buy. In my back of my mind, I know that she cannot accept it unless it's signed off by the board. Now, if the board fails to sign
There
a
is,
budget, then there's probably a process for that. It doesn't really matter the technical side of it, but
there's so much, this process is so long, and the gateway, the forms that have to be uploaded in the gateway, I have Form 1, I have Form 2, I have Form 4, and 4A and 4B, and then there's a financial side, and then I have to do a debt side, and then there's so much to this. Such a huge process.
yeah, I'm sure.
And this is all the expenditures from last year. I write all of those out, and then I review them, and I'm seeing, are we ahead? Did we budget enough? Do I think it's going to be the same amount as this year? Are the gas prices about the same? What's going to be our town liability? Is our payroll up? For FICA, is our perk rate up? Is our county taxes, all of that.
Yeah.
It's a huge, huge process. And raises, if you guys are going to give another raise like you guys did last year, that just totally throws, I mean, I have to deal with the FICA, I have to deal with the Medicare, the Social Security, the PERF. I mean, it jacks everything up. I'm afraid it's going up next year. So, okay, so.
I just don't know any other way to go other than, how much it would need to print out your budget proposal and get a copy to Keith.
I already have it right here. One for you and one for Mark. That's what I was
I
going
need
to
to
go.
have one and I'll get it.
The numbers aren't filled in because I was waiting. But I can fill in what I have here, and then I've made notes on all of the funds, on what you have, you know, what you have dedicated out of that fund to spend next year.
It's even a little bit, yeah, this one.
You see, I made all the notes over here on my end, you know, like,
This don't tell me much.
no, because don't have any numbers in it. But I do feel confident. I've been working my butt off, nonstop, on the phone, all the time, getting all the expenditures in, all the receipts, so you guys are going to have those to sign off on for this coming month. You're going to have a clear view. I've already spoke to the fire department, the police department, the street department. I've got their concerns, what they want to see. Like the police department is going to need uniforms next year. The fire department, they're wanting to get gear next year equaling $12,000. But here's the thing. If you look at the park and you reduce the tax levy on the park, you're going to be able to put some of this money somewhere else and give the fire department the training that they need, the gear that they need to fight the fires. But if we're just giving all this money and we're using a lot of the tax levy for the park just so he can mow the yard and have 3 bathrooms, and you know, the police department needs the same thing. They need radars.
And of course, they always need something, and we've done pretty well by them.
Yeah.
We've done.
The big thing that's hurt us in the general fund, the police department, that extra building, and cell phones and health insurance, all of those benefits and those raises, it's taken a huge part of our levy, and that's something you ever have to consider. So I'll fill these in. I'll give them to you guys.
Okay. You think that will? You know, if you want to look at it ahead of time, it's something to study.
I'd be happy to print another copy. Once I enter it all in, I can print
Okay,
copies.
just
It's fine. If you can
do
have
that, and we'll get it out to distribute it, and hopefully a chance to go through it.
Because
And I think any suggestions you have, because you understand it better than anyone else, go ahead and make them on a separate sheet.
well, I've made several notes on why this much, why that much, why I decreased, why, you know, I decreased 2,000 in one area, and then that 2,000, I moved it somewhere else. So make those recommendations. You guys can, once it's in and it's published, then you guys can change it to whatever. You just can't go, you can't go above what I publish.
No.
So last year we were very, very close with the MVH. When you gave those raises, it almost went above it. So that's why I'm going to advertise high. And then when you guys come in and look at the budget, we have the numbers, we have the balances, then you can say, let's lower that, or no, let's keep it. But I tell you, last year I went up to, the levy was 157. The county council, their non-binding review said, no, we don't recommend it. But we're just getting top heavy. So I'll just I'll input it, and then I'll print you guys copies.
Well, I was thinking, you told me that she had to have that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, when I couldn't meet the one in February, she said, call her in the middle of the month in August to set up a new appointment. So I called her as she requested, and she said, let's meet tomorrow. And I was like, I called her today and I said, it ain't gonna happen. And she said, well then,
So how far are our books off?
oh, it's